Bloxburg doesn't seem to be the same anymore because I used to have someone back then. It just doesn't feel the same anymore since when people hear Roblox, they usually think it's about chaos, random games, maybe just something to pass time. But for some of us, it was never just that. Because all you have to do is leave and subscribe since you won't want to miss the next part. Like this video so I know what to make next. I still remember when I first opened Bloxburg. Welcome to Bloxburg. It wasn't about graphics, it wasn't about being realistic, it was simple, quiet, and somehow it felt like a place you could live in. But the real personal reason I will tell later in the end, but for the main reason first, back then, making Bloxburg videos wasn't a strategy. It wasn't about content plans, algorithms, or consistency. It was just fun. You built a house, even it looked messy. You roleplay, even no one really followed the script. You record, not because you had to, but because you wanted to. And that's the part people don't really talk about anymore. Bloxburg was never just a game. It was a moment in time. Now when people say Bloxburg changed, they're not wrong. The game is objectively better now. More features, more details, better systems, more freedom. If you compare it technically, the new Bloxburg wins in almost every way. But somehow, something feels different. And it's easy to blame the game, but if we're being honest, the game is not only the thing that changed. We did. There is a real pattern behind why games like this slowly lose players over time. Long-term players tend to leave not because the game gets worse, but because their life shifts. People grow older, responsibility increases, attention spans change, and most importantly, the emotional attachment that once existed slowly fades when the environment around it changes. In Bloxburg's case, it used to feel smaller, more personal. You would recognize players, you would stay in the same server for hours, you would build not to impress but to express. Now the game is more advanced, but also more distant. There are more players, but fewer connections. More builds, but less meaning behind them. More content, but less feeling. And this is not just happening in Bloxburg. This is a common cycle in games. At the beginning, a game feels like a space. Then it becomes a system. And when that happens, people don't always leave because they dislike it. Sometimes they leave because it no longer feels like home. But for me, it's a little more personal than that. This is my personal reason though. But imagine if this is yours. Because when I think about Bloxburg, I don't just think about the game. I think about someone. Back in summer 2023, there was a moment where Bloxburg felt different in the best way possible. It wasn't about the builds or the videos or even the game itself. It was about who I was playing it with. There are certain memories that don't need to be big to matter. Just simple things. Driving around the map with no destination, talking about random stuff while doing jobs, standing in front of a house that took hours to build just to say, this looks nice. This moment didn't feel important at that time, but now they are the only thing that stays. If only I could go back and not repeat the same mistake again. Well yeah, and maybe that's the real reason why Bloxburg doesn't feel the same anymore. Not because the game changed, not because people in those memories are no longer there in the same way. It's strange how a digital place can hold something special that is so real. But it does. And when that connection is gone, no updates, no feature, no improvement can replace it, that's when people say, I miss the old Bloxburg. What they actually mean is something deeper. Not about that it's bad. They didn't miss the mechanic, they didn't miss the old graphics, they miss how it felt. There's a concept in psychology that's called emotional context memory. It explains how we don't just remember events, we remember how those events made us feel. So when we return to the same place, expecting the same feeling, and it's not there anymore. It creates this quiet sense of loss. Not dramatic, not obvious, just different. And that's exactly what this is. The new Bloxburg is good. It's better in many ways, but it exists in a different version of our lives. And sometimes that's the hardest part to accept, because you can rebuild the same house, you can walk in the same streets, you can recreate old videos, but you cannot recreate the same exact moment in the time when everything felt right. That version is gone, and that's okay. Maybe the point was just to experience when it happened. So no, this is not really about why I stopped uploading, and it's not about criticizing the game. It's just remembering a time when everything was simpler, when creating felt natural, when playing felt meaningful, when someone was there and that alone made everything better. If you have ever felt like a game doesn't hit the same anymore, it doesn't mean you've lost interest. It just means you've grown. And somewhere along the way, that version of you stayed behind in a small virtual town, in a house you probably don't even remember building. And it is welcome to Bloxburg. And forever, and as always, be a great cola.